Will your financial foundation stand strong in a storm? Rich in Good offers wisdom for true wealth so that you can construct a solid foundation to richly enjoy all stages of your life. We talk about finance and faith that'll help you find meaning in money. Discover how to make money matter so that you can be rich in good.
Hi, welcome to a new episode of Rich in Good. Hello, Henny.
Hi, Willem.
I'm joined by Henny du Plessis, an advisor with me in RIG Advisory Services. But in Rich in Good, it's our 18th episode. We talk about faith and finance.
Yeah, so very exciting. It's just a nice journey that we've been on. Hopefully most of you have joined us for most of the episodes. If not, catch up and join us for the rest as well.
So you can listen to this on a podcast on the various podcast platforms and channels. But then also you can watch this as a video recording on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel for this as well. So, we've been talking about faith and finance, but in one of our previous discussions, we focused a bit on cash flow and the uses of money. Our listeners and viewers who's followed this over time will remember that there are 5 short-term uses of money. And in our discussion, we basically distilled it to 4 groups or categories. So, Henny, I'm going to share it on the screen for our viewers, but for those of you who listen, you can just carefully listen. So, the first use of money...
Live.
Yeah, and that's got to do with your living expenses. So, there's a portion of your monthly income that you allocate to your living expenses. The second one?
To give.
Given this doesn't mean that you have to do the second. I mean, this is a Christian podcast and a show. We should actually turn this around.
It should change around, yeah.
I'm a little bit embarrassed now, but anyhow. Giving, we should give to God of our first fruits, not just of our income and provisions, but also of our life. So giving is very important. Then O, it's got 2 dimensions to it, so you can quickly explain that.
Yeah, so the 2 is either repaying debt or and paying taxes. So a very important one.
Yeah, so the tax one is interesting. So if you're employed, your employer is forced to do the work of the revenue services on their behalf. So they already collect the taxes, and then you get the leftovers, and then from that you do what you must.
You have no choice.
Yeah, but there are other taxes as well. That's not necessarily just taken from your salary, and people must be very aware of those. Okay, then the last one,
that's to grow.
So grow basically means you need surplus at the end of the month that you can accumulate. In the first instance, savings, but then savings that can become investments. And the investments can later buy you assets, and the investments can also become assets over time. So I think what we want to do now is we basically put on screen, for those of you who watch on video, in a diagram, we've basically put the different words. So let's do this right now, Henny. So let's go that way around. So we give first.
Yes.
Then we live, we pay debt, we pay taxes, and we grow. The sequence is actually, the government takes what it must. So we pay taxes, we give, we pay the mortgage, then we live, and then we must carefully plan to have surplus.
Yes.
But in the center of this, there's a circle. Maybe you want to read what's in that and maybe expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think just when the center, or let's sort of say God owns it all, is just a very important part of it. It's the central part of it in whichever decisions we actually make. So what type of lifestyle do we have? How do we give? What type of debt do we actually incur? What type of house do we buy? What type of car do we buy? What is actually the how much is enough question also then comes in. Yeah, but just to take it from that perspective of God owns it all. So how can I responsibly use what God has given to me to use, and actually, be satisfied that it's actually what God wants of me. So
as a steward, I think
steward,
the mentality or to approach this as a steward is very
Correct,
important. Okay. So I want to ask you, Henny, you're doing a lot of work with young professional people, young adults. If you use the system in budgeting, how do you go about in explaining it to young adults?
Yeah, I actually love this journey with young adults. I think especially just first getting them to a point where budgeting is important, because if you're not budgeting, you don't actually know how much you have left at the end of the day. You don't know how much you can give. You just can't make any decision. So this is a very simplistic way of looking at it, but from a Christian perspective, it's very nice as well to be able to budget properly, to be able to give margin, to be able to give. I think we have a responsibility to leave the world in a better place than what we came into it as well. So that can be financially. That's basically back to the time, treasure, talents conversation then as well. But it is just this whole concept, especially when it's a young working person. They don't usually have any debt, so obviously owe taxes. That's one that's a given that's there. But it's to find that margin. Then next step is to give, and then from give you see what's left to determine, okay, what can I use to live? So can I eat out more than once a month, or can I get takeaways, or how should I set up my food budget? What type of medical aid can I afford? Stuff that you need to have, stuff that you can't go without. But it can't be determined if you don't know how much you're actually paying in taxes, how much coming to the bank account. Then it is a nice conversation to have with Christian young adults is just how much do you want to give. That's the next determination. Then how much you live, and then that sort of determines how much can I afford to pay into debt. So what type of house can I buy? What type of car can I buy? How often do I replace the car? And then those become fixed expenses after you've made that decision, which could then negatively affect how much you live. And then from there, you see how you can grow. And then that's where it's a nice conversation to have with young adults, doing proper cash flow modeling as well, to determine that if I give this into a retirement annuity, into a unit trust, what does it mean in 5 years? What does it mean in 40 years? I'm not just paying money and hoping for the best in the end. It's to do proper planning as well. That it's part of their budget and part of that determination. And it's not just long-term goals. It's 3-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals. To incorporate goals into this circle. It's just very important, because again, that affects what type of lifestyle you can actually have, and what is the ideal, and where do I want to be at in the next few years. So it's a very nice journey to go on, but not to compromise on the giving part of it, because usually what happens if people don't plan, lifestyle just takes over, and in the end of the month I don't have enough to give. And then that's just bad planning in the end. That if you don't plan properly, the giving is going to be the first thing that goes. It usually just is, which is it's not ideal, especially if we want to be truly good stewards of what God has given to us. So to plan properly and to budget properly is the most important thing for me in any young conversation, and just for me as well in our family, to continually sort of have the conversation in, okay, where's my money going towards? And yes, our living expenses are becoming quite expensive. The inflation is picking up,
food
inflation is really hectic. So you've got to revisit what is realistic as well. I think that's also the other thing with a budget. It's got to be realistic as well. So the conversation is not just, we've got this budget, yes, it's ideal, perfect, it looks good on paper, but you've got to be able to go actually exercise what you've put on paper, and it's got to be realistic. So I think that's also a nice conversation. And these 5 elements, it's really such a simplistic way of looking at it, but it's what you come back to. You maybe have under live, you might have 10 different sub accounts that you put there, but it's still live. It's your giving part. You might give tithe to the church, you maybe want to give to a family member, you maybe want to give to someone on the street, or you want to give to someone to advance their education, whatever that might mean to you. It can be a bunch of sub-accounts, and how big it can get is all up to you. But it's something to be prayed over. I think very important to find out from God how much is enough for me and what type of lifestyle I need to exercise. But I love this journey with young adults. I think people are very uncertain of what is okay, what's not okay, and it's just to help them to find their answers. I'm not there to give them the answer. You sort of just guide it, and this tool is absolutely amazing in just being able to simplify this whole process.
And this is not, God's not a spoil sport. This is, you can still enjoy life. Yeah. But if you don't cap your lifestyle, and this is in terms of, you can drive a certain car, but you can pay twice the amount of money for a car, and it's still a car that does what, so it comes to those kind of very important lifestyle decisions. Yeah, Eni, thanks for sharing this. We've got a advisors conference that comes up, but before we share this, in RIG, we've got a fun journey that we do with clients, and we basically base it on visiting a game park and seeing the Big Five, and almost collecting puzzle pieces of the Big Five. These courses are available in Afrikaans. We're in the process of redoing them in English as well. So the third course here has got to do with income allocation. And so I'd like to challenge our viewers and listeners to be on the watch out in our School of Wisdom for Wealth. It's an online learning platform where we house these different courses. Watch out for the piece on income allocation, and I think through that it will direct you to our website and an online form that you can fill in, which basically leads to a budgeting process. And budgeting is also got a part of what we call tax smart budgeting, because there is a part, and we've joked about taxes, but simply contributing to a retirement annuity, you're actually providing for your old age, so it's a responsible thing to do. But then you can get funds back from the receiver of revenue. So the moment you do budgeting, you can also see how you can legally not limit, but maybe lessen your taxes. You pay what you must pay, but not more than that, just by sound financial planning. So I'd like to encourage you to go and visit that specific online course. And you're also welcome if you can't find it, and if you want to speak to us in the meantime on the specific topic, we'll give our contact details towards the end. But I started to speak about the Advisors for the Nations conference at the end of the year before I interrupted myself. What's our date there?
Yeah, so we've got a date, October 3rd to the 6th, 2024.
So you can also contact us. There's a whole page on our Leave a Lasting Legacy website that's dedicated to the conference. Any information that you need about the conference. It's in essence a 2-3 day conference in the beautiful Bushveld at Hippo Lakes, where we spend time as advisors, be it as attorneys, accountants, fund managers, from all different advice professions. We get equipped to give advice from a Christian biblical worldview, similar to what Henny has shared with you in this conversation.
Yeah, so if you want to contact us, you can email us at info@rig.ac. You can call us at 086 1221 777. But we look forward to hearing from you, and please reach out to us, anything that you might have any queries on. Just let us know.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
See you next time. Thank you, Eni.
Thanks, Willem.